My publisher said in his ultimate wisdom, "Stan, that is the worst idea I have ever heard," Lee told BBC Radio 4 in an interview promoting his graphic novel memoir, Amazing, Fantastic, Incredible, A Marvelous Memoir. First of all, people hate spiders, so you can't call a book Spider-Man. Second, he can't be a teenager. Teenagers can only be sidekicks. And third, he can't have personal problems. If he's supposed to be a superhero, don't you know who a superhero is? Yeah, that's Butts. I'm not sure about you guys, but Spider-Man is one of my favorite heroes, and the fact that, Stan's publisher was like, hey, don't do that, means that that publisher was indeed what we like to call in the industry, a poop sock. And frankly, you never want to be a poop sock. Let people make what they want to make. Hello everybody and welcome to Kalbus. My name is Lumo and today we are looking at r/aged like milk. For those things that just, instead of becoming more delicate and more depthy as time goes on, have aged in a way that has left them chunky, bitter, and distraught. Let's just get right into it. PS5 global launch schedule. And PS5 pre-orders will be available starting as early as tomorrow at select retailers. And all of the resellers bought them, and thus no one got a PS5, at least for MSRP. You hate to see it. You hate to see it. I wish there was some way to ruin these bots. Back when I used to work at Best Buy, we actually had to implement a system for basically knocking down resellers. We had to put in order limits, location limits, and a bunch of other stuff, and even then, they got through the system somehow. So then we had to have a human element go, no, you can't pick up 8 orders under 8 separate names and claim that they're all for you, sir. Because that's what, a lot of resellers do. That's just what a lot of resellers do, and I despise it, I hate it, and I hope that this ends up on Aged Like Wine as we find some way to, once and for all, rid the world of the plague of resellers. Talking about the Switch before launch, I really doubt this thing will sell any more than the Wii U. No one wants to pay over $300 dues. No. For context, it has sold over 60 million. The Switch is honestly one of my favorite console concepts. I don't know, maybe I'm like growing out of it, and I love that it's portable, don't get me wrong. It's really nice to be able to play things on the go, but I don't know, maybe it's just because I'm isolated. I've come to enjoy games where I can socialize with my friends more than I do games that, try and grip me in as a singular person. Like, that's why I play so much Phantasy Star. It's something that I can do with the people I care about, because I'm in the middle of nowhere. But I don't use my Switch as often as I want. Like, I can actually physically see the layer of dust on it as it sits next to my bed. Maybe if Nintendo had more, like, multiplayer games on it that didn't require that godforsaken app, or, just had some sort of ongoing multiplayer that isn't also replicatable on PC, maybe I'd play it more. Like, it's an amazing piece of hardware. I just wish there was more for it. Well, how the turntables. By 2005 or so, it became clear the internet's impact on the economy had been no greater than the fax machines. Nobel Prize-winning economist Paul Krugman. Well, I mean, yeah, at that time, no one really knew what the internet was going to become. Like, this is definitely some short-sighted thinking. Consider all variables, don't just consider the one that you're personally biased towards. Otherwise, you end up sounding like this dude right here. How did you get that Nobel Prize-winning economist prize for winning the prize of the Nobel if you, this short-sighted? That is only 7 years into the future from when you said that. That's not a lot of time. Like, we are now, what? 22 years away from that point, and the internet is like the main economic driving force right now. But yeah, apparently he has since then written about how wrong this statement ended up being, and apparently with a lot of self-deprecating humor. So you know what? He took it in stride, and I can appreciate that. Gender reveal party joke from 2017. These gender reveals are getting out of control. Ah yes, the West Coast is burning, but it's the West Coast, we're not losing much. Okay. Stay safe if you're in the fires. I find it really interesting about the dichotomy of the disasters that hit each coast of America. The West Coast is on fire, the East Coast is underwater, and the Central is under air. So I question, what's going to be under Earth? What part of America is going to become the Earth Nation? Is Texas going to get hit by a mudslide that buries the entire state cleanly along its border? Let's find out. Let's find out which section of America is going to become the Earth Nation. Jaden Smith lets his parents do whatever they want. Bet he wishes now that he didn't. Ooh. South Park made a joke about how Jaden Smith allowed his parents to do what they wished. They have now recently come out with information regarding marital affairs with friends of their children. I bet Jaden now wishes he'd not allowed his parents so much freedom since his mom is now banging one of his friends. Oh, Oh, what? I didn't know that much. I just knew that Will Smith got Smith thrilled. Like, Lifestyles of the rich and the famous, everybody. It's okay when they do it. Jeff Bezos doubted Amazon would succeed. I told my parents it's very likely they'll lose their entire investment. And now he's the richest man in the world. And also one of the biggest POSs in the world. It's funny how that happens. That's so weird though, like, a lot of these, early entrepreneurs took a huge risk doing what they were doing, like Gates, Bezos, a lot of these guys. They basically gambled everything and won. And that's why their success is so huge. Whereas, it's not only the case. You hear a lot of people gambling and completely flopping. How many game companies have you heard where they remortgaged their houses and quit their jobs and the game came out to be a massive stinker? Like, these big risks used to pay off because you could get a summer job and correct what you did. No longer the case. No longer the case. The Roaring 2000s. Building the wealth and lifestyle you desire in the greatest boom in history. Predicts 35,000 Dow in 2008. Maybe don't name your booming economy book after a decade that had a major depression 8 to 9 years in. Hey, and then we had a major depression like 8 to 9 years in. And then another one. And then another one. And then we were good for a little bit. And then a virus hit. And then there was another one, but that one only lasted for like 6 months. It's already kind of climbing back up. Yeah, really unfortunate naming, but I'm gonna be real. It did age like milk, but like 2020 bad, anybody? 2020 bad? But top comment says the best part. If you need to follow an investment guru, Warren Buffett's probably the best guy. Dude reads like 5 hours, I think it is, of investing papers every morning, like of just solid research on market trends. So yeah, be safe with investing. Don't go too hard, be safe, be smart. Don't be stupid. Top comment from the first Reddit thread about AirPods. How could multiple people have signed off on this? A lot of Apple stuff looks like crap, then it turns out to be a big hit. I thought the iPad was an unnecessary cross between a phone and a laptop and would become a complete flop. And yeah, AirPods are honestly, I've heard they're good. I'm not one to spend that much on wireless headphones. I've had nothing but trouble with all the ones I've had, like the true wireless ones. Like, I've heard they sound amazing though. I've just been trying to find something that I can use with my Quest. Cause I like to stream Beat Saber to some friends and everything, and whenever I get sweaty, it soaks up in my recording headphones, which is super disgusting. So if you guys have good wireless headphones, please leave me recommendations. This is not a jape. I need help buying some. 3 rolls of film, 3 bagels, 3 blocks, 3 lights, 3 plants, 4 floppy disks, 4 loaves of bread, 4 tires, 4 Easter eggs, 4 dog biscuits. A children's book from 2004 appealing to young kids with modern technology of film rolls and floppy disks. No, don't you discredit that. You could put an entire Doom on one of those. That's very hip. I wonder if you could fit SRB2 onto a floppy disk still. Would that even run? That sounds awful. Honestly though, rolls of film at 2004 were still viable technology. They were still in disposable cameras. This just sounds like a poop sock of a zoomer going like, old technology bad, and they talked about it when it was going out of phase. Me so funny smart. Like, I don't know. Floppy disks I'll give you, rolls of film, those really didn't go too far out of style until like a couple of years after. And a similar book will be published today featuring VR and 3D printing and will be similarly aged by 2040. Yep, thank you, top comment. That's pretty accurate. Does it count if it got purchased by Monopoly? Does 20th Century Fox have the new monopoly on animation? I don't talk about this much. I hate Disney. We're starting strong with this, but hear me out. Disney is like borderline monolithic and controls so much that it's like an octopus. Did you know that they control 2 of the news stations that are some of the most popular in America? Did you know that Disney is controlling the narrative? Like, they own so much. They own, what, Fox now? So that's Family Guy, Samsoni's, etc. They got Marvel. I wouldn't be shocked if they tried to buy DC, if AT&T ever wants to get rid of it. Like, they absorb everything, and I swear to God, the only reason why they haven't been broken up by the government is because they have lobbyists. They have enough power and lobbyists and lawyers to ride out any antitrust that could possibly happen. Like, they're terrifying. They are a nightmare corporation. It's not just funny mouse. Who wants to get a copy strike? No, it is straight up and down like a genuinely evil corporation. But it's okay, they made Frozen, so we have to like them. Pattinson's Batman will be so raw and not sanitized, says cast member Peter Sarsgaard. I mean, look, Wait, what? Oh, okay, so... Had to look at the context for this one, because I believe that Sparkle Boy can become a good Batman. Raw and unsanitized might have been the worst words that they could have possibly used, because Robert Pattinson has tested positive for COVID-19. No! Oh, that's no bueno. That's no good. Oh, Batman filming is temporarily paused. Well, at least it's not canceled. I hope Pattinson's okay. You know what? He did a good Cedric Diggory. He's fine. Like, I think he'll do fine as Batman. I hope he recovers from the coronavirus because I want to see it come to fruition. I want more good Batman content. Dark Knight was so good. The Schneider stuff, not so much. Ben Affleck finally achieves lifelong dream of not having to play Batman anymore. Ben Affleck gave notes on the Flash movie script before agreeing to return as Batman! Oh, what's the date difference? Like a little over a year. Oh, you hate to see it. If you don't want to be Batman, just take a different role, Affleck. Come on! Oh, it's such a tragic life. I have to be Batman. Like, fuck off with that. Like... Just, if you don't want the role, don't take the role, you jack. Like, come on. There will be no episodes 7 through 9. That's because there isn't any story. The Star Wars story is really the tragedy of Darth Vader. That is the story. George Lucas, before he sold it to the horrible media conglomerate that is Disney. Disney will milk anything they get. They'll milk anything they get regardless of quality. Case in point, the Avengers game. It doesn't matter. If you sell your product to Disney, you are conceding for it to be milked dead, and then its corpse brought out to be resurrected many years later to attract the new generation of audience goers. Don't sell to Disney. Don't sell to any major corporation unless you're okay with that happening. That's just gonna be what happens to your beautiful world. And that's all the time we have here today on Kalbus. If you like this, make sure to subscribe and leave a like, and maybe share this with a friend who could use a little bit of frustration over milk. If you want more r/agelike milk, will be another one popping up in just a couple of seconds, but until then, my name has been Lumo, and I hope to see you in the very next Kalbus video. Have a lovely day.